Beautiful, beautiful people. What's happening? I hope everybody's doing well. I'm your boy EM3. This is the EM3 experience, your rewired mindset. Coming to you live today for our TGIM. Let's get this week set off just right. Okay. Um, so today, this entire week, actually, we're going to be talking about uh, mental engineering. All right, this is a this is a different approach that I'm taking in doing this topic, and I want to make sure that you guys have like a really good understanding of how this is going to flow this week. As you see my posts, first and foremost, I want to give a shout out to all of you, and especially to all of the subscribers. If you have not subscribed to the EM3 Influence Circle, you're missing out on so much stuff, folks. Do me a favor, go back to my page, click the subscribe button, and subscribe to the Influence Circle. I do more content there. Do a couple additional live videos there as well during the week. And so if you have not subscribed, it's only 99 cents a month. What is that? I don't know. All my mathematicians out there, 3 cents a day. So yeah, please subscribe to the channel so we can, number one, get you deeper into the content and at the same time, spread the word about the information that's there. But this week we're going to be focused on mental engineering. For those of you that do know me, you know I'm all about what's happening upstairs, right? What's happening between our ears, what that mindset looks like for us, and anything that I can do to try to support and impact you and having a better thought process, how you view things, how you think about things. I We all typically think in a certain kind of way, and for me, I like to disrupt those thoughts because sometimes you need a little disruption in your thought process in order to pivot out of the direction that you're going. So for me, what can I do to jump in and disrupt all of that way of thinking, right? And it's all with the mindset and the hope of making your life better. And I use my own personal lived experiences and how I'm thinking and how I'm processing the simple tasks of life, but then just deep diving into a bigger picture because there's always something bigger that's going on, um, as we go about our day, right? Sometimes it's just a simple task that we're doing, but then is there something else that goes on behind the scenes in our mind, even in trying to do those little things, right? And I love being in that space. So one of the things I was thinking about as I got into this week, I was preparing this content, yesterday, or actually a couple days over the weekend, and a little bit on Saturday, a little bit on Sunday. And then as I got into this morning, early this morning, and really started thinking about myself and processing my own mindset, one of the questions that I asked myself is, w- man, what is this connection of thoughts that I'm constantly having? There's always something to do, always something going on. There's always a what's next. Why does my brain constantly do that? And what I started to realize is that my brain is actually constantly building a scaffolding for work to be done. It's constantly building some type of framework for some task that I'm trying to do, right? And we all do it. And I'm gonna talk about that a little bit today. What is that mental scaffolding for you? How are you putting that together in order for you to get through your day, get through your week, get through your month, get through a season, get through a year, right? So what does that look like? Well, here it is. Number one, what I want you to recognize is that your mind is the architect. Your mind is the architect of every single thing that you do. The thoughts that you constantly have, you have one goal in mind, and that is to build blueprints. So what do those blueprints look like when we're talking about our thoughts? How many of you, kind of like me, put together lists? I'm a list person, right? I gotta create a list of everything, and then I go from creating that list, and then I move that list. I pull parts out of that, I categorize them, and then I start putting stuff on my calendar. All right, when am I gonna do this, right? Because people say, what's that saying? It's like what's prioritized, what gets planned gets prioritized, but what gets scheduled gets done, right? So if it's not on my calendar, I ain't doing it. Like it doesn't even exist if it's not on my calendar. Like I live and die by my calendar. So for me, I got to start with my list though. So every weekend, I sit down, mostly on Sundays, and I'll write down, all right, what's up for this, the next 12 weeks. And then I scale back. What's up for the next 2 weeks? And then I scale back. What am I doing this week? So I do a 12-week outlook, a 2-week outlook, and then a 1-week outlook, right? I don't view a day, I don't make a task list for the day because it gets frustrating for me. And every time I make a list, I turn around and I'm like, man, I got all this stuff at the end of the day I didn't get to. So for me, one day is not 24 hours. One day is 168 hours. That's how many hours are in a week. So I take my list and I create, this is everything I want to accomplish for this week. Now, I take from that and I start plotting it into my calendar. When am I going to do it, right? Because again, what gets planned, the list, gets prioritized. What gets prioritized gets scheduled, and what gets scheduled gets done. So that's the workflow that I kind of take myself through mentally to plan out my week, to plan out a 2 week period, to plan out 3 months. And so that's my entire thought process. So again, your mind is an architect. Your mind is going to capture the blueprints. I can guarantee you, every single one of you, for the most part, when you go grocery shopping, you make a grocery list. If it's not written on paper, it's written up in your mind. I'm going to the store to get this, 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 and this, right? If you need to go shopping to get some clothes, okay. I need, especially like you taking your kids. All right, I'm gonna get you 5 outfits. I'm gonna get you a t-shirt, pair of pants, some shorts, a jacket, some underwear, some socks, and some shoes, and we out, right? You've made a list. So that's what your mind does. It's constantly architecting, if that's a word. All my English majors out there, spell check me on that one, grammar check me on that one. But we go through this process of creating these schedules in our mind and we lay it out for ourselves as to exactly what we want to do. Some of you with your grocery lists, you may be, okay, here's all the fruit I want to get. Here's all of the non-perishables I want to get. Here's all the perishables I want to get. Here's all the drinks I want to get, right? And then you put stuff up underneath each one of those categories. Some of you just slap together the list. Either way, it is the exact same thing. It is a blueprint of your thoughts on paper, or it stays stored in your mind and what you're trying to achieve. Now you got to get the construction crew together, right? You got to get and guess who the construction crew is? It's you, right? It's your actions. Your actions compounded create habits, right? So your habits, and which is the whole collective actions that you take, those that's your crew member. Those are your crew members. That's the construction crew that's going to put to action the list that you've prepared, all the architectural planning that you've done, and all the design work that you've done, the scaffolding and stuff, right? So they're going to work through that scaffolding and build this thing exactly the way you outlined it in your blueprint. Those are your actions and your habits that's behind all of this stuff. What are the results? The results, it's a full refrigerator, it's a full pantry, it's full cupboards, right? It's everything covered and aligned inside of your kitchen after you've gone to the grocery store. It's the closet, it's the finished product is the dresser, right? Or bins, or however you store your clothes. After you've gone shopping for clothes, everything gets washed and put away, right? So when we think about our mind, this mental engineering, it has to go through a certain flow. A lot of times we're just doing stuff without thinking about how we're doing it. And that's the reason why I want to break this down to you. Grocery shopping is a very simple function. But guess what? This grocery shopping, there's a certain process that you follow in order to achieve that certain task. So what is that? That is called a mental engineering. That is a process that it goes through. Now, Here's the key thing I want you to understand about mental engineering. You are not supposed to, oh, some people are going to be mad at me for this. You are not supposed to just rise to the level of your dreams. You know what you're supposed to rise to? The level of your mental structure. This way you stay on task, right? You stay on track. If you're having dreams and visions about what you want to achieve, it needs to go through this architectural process that I just defined, right? So either way, you stay on task, you stay in alignment. So you don't rise above to your dreams because your dreams had is just like this blank canvas that you had, and all of a sudden you just splattered all of these ideas. Those are dreams. Dreams are a bunch of ideas that's just splattered up on the wall as an abstract. But it's the mental engineering now that you put this in structure. And so where you rise is you go up the scaffolding building, right? And now you're working your way up to the finite dream that you had that was once an abstract, but now it's something solid. I've got an actual goal in mind. I've got a target. I know exactly what I'm going for. I have a clear mental picture. Here's the design work. Here's the scaffolding. Here's my crew. Here are my actions and habits that's going to get me to this clear mental picture, right? Because if you're focusing on just all these dreams, you'll be all over the place. Trust me, I have been in that place. I'm still in that place at times. Sometimes I gotta like throw the fish hook out and reel my brain back in because my thoughts are just like running wild, right? So how do we go about doing that? Create a structure around your thought process so that you're not all over the place with your thinking. Okay, so here's your challenge for this week. All right, here's your challenge. This week, I want you to take one belief that you've had all of this time, and you've probably put some framework around this belief. You've got something that you've done, and I want you to think about that belief that no longer serves you. This belief or value may be something that was projected onto you by your parents, your grandparents, your guardians, right? I'll use this as an example. There's times for me when I project my own fears onto my kids. And they're going to be okay, but instead I'm projecting my worry and concern on them instead of teaching them how to be simply what is it that I really want? I'm concerned about their well-being, so I want them to be safe. So if I want them to be safe, how about projecting the affirmation of that? Instead of saying, hey, be safe out there on the roadways because I worry about you. Hey, make sure you're not out there speeding. Instead of saying that, okay, hey, I trust you're going to make it there safely. Just a quick pivot in how we're thinking. Just a quick pivot in how we're using our words. Just a quick pivot in the entire framework of instead of projecting and passing down fears, right? Because our parents did that to us. Hey, when I leave and go out of town, I'll be having no parties, don't be doing this, that, and the other, blah, 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 right? And we're throwing out this list of concerns and worries and don't do's, right? But how about we start pivoting that value and belief system and let's architect and rebuild something new. So I want you to think about one belief that and value that has carried with you all of your life. Okay, in this case for me, it would be project how I'm projecting onto my kids, and I want to change that. I don't want to project onto them my fears. What I want to do is I want to speak life into their behaviors. I want to speak life into their actions. I want to speak life into the things that they're participating in so that they go out and have a great time and not worried about me being worried. They're alert, they're aware, they're making smart decisions because I'm speaking life into them in order for them to do that, right? So that for me is going to be my challenge. I am rebuilding a belief of projecting fears onto my kids because it no longer serves me. I don't want them to be scared to go do things. What I want them to be is aware and alert and be safe and enjoy themselves at the same time. So I'm going to pivot how I'm speaking to them and what I'm projecting onto them. And instead of projecting my fears, I'm going to project my confidence, right? I'm going to speak life. I'm going to project life into them. So that is what I'm talking about. All right. So pick your challenge for this week and identify what is that belief that you've held on to. And now you want to rebuild it, reframe it using the model that I talked about with the architecture, right? The scaffolding and the crew. So think about that. Here's your affirmation. I want you to say this and I want you to put it in the chat when you're hearing this, okay? I engineer my mind with clarity, discipline, and faith. I engineer my mind with clarity, discipline, and faith. Say that with me. I engineer my mind with clarity, discipline, and faith. We're not going to walk through this just, like it's too foggy. I don't know what's going on, right? We're not engineering our thought processes like that. We're not engineering our thought processes with being inconsistent and having a lack of discipline. No, we're going to have discipline. We're going to keep our bearing, and we're going to be consistent in how we approach this. Okay? We're not going to walk out here just aimlessly, just being tossed around with every little wind that comes our way. We're going to be solid, and we're going to believe in ourselves, and we're going to have faith in the work that we're doing. We're going to have faith in and confidence in what we set sail for our goals, for our desires. We're going to put structure around our dreams because we're not chasing after all these dreams. We're chasing after our mental structure to make sure that we're following the actions and the plan that we put in place. Okay? That's not to say stop dreaming. It's just saying put some framework around your dreams so that you got a plan. Okay? So your call to action, folks, I need your help. All right. I want to continue to build the influence circle. I want to add on to the number of subscriptions that I have. I want to continue to spread this word, but most importantly, I want to continue to serve you in a deeper capacity. I want you closer to me because I'm only giving so much information on the public side. And so now I've created this uh, influence circle because I want people in a closer circle with me than just sitting out here for the EM3 experience, but come within the influence circle so you can go deeper with me. We can get further connected and we can really start to drill down, have some great conversations, one with another. I don't have all the answers. So within the circle, it's an opportunity for us to connect with one another. It's an opportunity for voices to connect. It's an opportunity for ideas to connect. So your call to action, the work is human and the growth is divine, and I need your help. I can't reach 8 billion people. My goal is to influence the people that are around me. And if you're not in the circle, it really limits how I'm able to influence. So I need you inside the circle so I can be a bigger influence and you can be a bigger influence to me. It's an opportunity for us to keep the dialogue going in a deeper context. All right. Like I said, I'm just throwing out my ideas and what works for me. I want to hear your ideas. I want to hear from you. I want to hear the things that's working for you. Maybe I can apply them to my life. Maybe somebody that's also within the influence circle can apply it to their lives because the tide raises all boats. We're all going to have an opportunity to come up if we have the opportunity to connect with one another. Okay, so please go to my page, hit subscribe, love, like, share this post so we can get the word out. All right, folks, this is your EM3 experience, Rewired Mindset, TGIM. Thank God it's Monday. I appreciate you. Go out there and have a phenomenal week. Keep engaging my posts, keep sharing the content, keep love, like, and sharing, and please subscribe. All right, I want you to have a phenomenal week. I know you're going to do great things. I absolutely know that you are. And if you need anything, feel free to reach out to me. Shoot me a DM. I'll happily respond to help you through whatever you feel like you're stuck on. All right? Peace, love, light. Love you guys.